Monday, October 9th, it's a federal holiday, but celebrated for different reasons this year. Western Mass News' Abby Carnevale takes a look at the debate surrounding Columbus Day versus Indigenous Peoples Day.
My native name is Gentle Running Deer, in the native language, Quinooki Wamanarosu Atuk.
At 86 years old, Gloria Peeler has always called Springfield home. But she calls the native Nipmuc, Apache, and Cherokee tribes her family.
My mother was Mohawk of the Iroquois Confederacy, and my father was Cherokee Apache.
Now she finds herself advocating for Native American rights and in the middle of a debate between Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day.
For us to have our own day, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Columbus Day was first celebrated in 1792 in New York. In 1892, it was federally recognized by President Harrison. Fast forward 230 years from its initial recognition. And in 2023, many Americans are wondering whether we should move forward with this federal holiday.
Well, for me, Columbus Day is more like St. Christopher Columbus Day. He's a hero to me personally and a hero to my community. As Italian Americans, we look at Columbus as the first Italian American.
Salvatore Circosta, president of Springfield's Sons and Daughters of Italy chapter, tells Western Mass News Columbus Day is a celebration of his people and the New World. Others in Springfield see it as a day of honoring a man that tore apart a civilization.
It really isn't necessarily about not thinking about who Columbus was. I think many Indigenous people would acknowledge that he was a critical part of this country's history. Where I think the difference is celebrating him as someone that was perhaps the original colonizer, and that impact on him as someone that was the beginning of a movement towards this population facing generations of historic trauma.
Springfield College has opted to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day since 2018. Calvin Hill, the college's vice president of inclusion and community engagement, explains to Western Mass News their decision to do so.
I think it's a moral imperative. I think as we look at replacing Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day, we stand in solidarity with those that have already replaced it, and we stand in solidarity with those that are fighting in the state to make sure that Columbus Day is replaced.
A current bill in the Massachusetts state legislature aims to replace Columbus Day as Indigenous Peoples Day. Circosta staunchly opposes any legislation that would do so. It would reassign the second Monday of October as a different holiday.
It won't go through because we're going to do everything in our capacity as Italians and as Americans to fight this, whether it's on a local level in a city, whether it's on a state level or a federal level. I just think it's idiotic and ridiculous. First of all, Indigenous people, which Indigenous people are we talking about?
Circosta tells us he has concerns over celebrating tribes that took part in gruesome events, but Peeler blames Hollywood for inaccurate portrayals of Native Americans.
We are still here. We're not a bunch of people that run around like savages with half our clothes off and scalping people and just killing people. That's not us. We are peaceful people.
Ultimately, Circosta sees the change as an indictment of his personal idol.
Columbus is a scapegoat, and they just want to destroy rather than build. I'd be the first person in Springfield to help fundraise to build a statue that would honor a Native American here in the city of Springfield. Why don't we do that? Why do we have to talk about tearing things down and replacing holidays? Why don't we build new holidays and build new statues?
And all Peeler wants is a proper voice for a silenced ancient civilization that walks among us.
It would mean a lot because a lot of people don't know it, but there are a lot of Native Americans in Western Mass.
Reporting in Springfield, Abby Carnevale, Western Mass News.